Hey everybody, welcome back to the Quarantine Cafe. This is day 3. I'm going to start putting, kind of like we're in prison, but start putting hash marks on the wall. What's that? No, I've been told I can't do that. Okay, so I won't be doing that, but this is day 3. We'll try and keep these marked down on each title just to kind of distinguish which video we're doing. And also, it's kind of been weird the way the screen grab kind of comes out and whatever part of the video it picks up on. Because you kind of be told, all right, get an account in, 3, 2, 1, smile, and then they catch me like I've been picked up for DUI on a mugshot. I'm all like, in mid talk. So the fun parts of food production here. So thanks again for joining us. Really enjoyed. It's just been so much fun. I know I keep saying this, but just to see people from all throughout, my life, folks from Natchez, Mississippi growing up, folks from college at Millsaps, folks from all the restaurants that I've worked in, and just friends that I've met throughout the Atlanta area. I've got some friends, so my friend Joni said that her mom is watching from Mexico. My parents and their friend Elizabeth Beal, shout out to her, down in Ecuador. So technically I guess we're global, so good for us. So today we're going to be doing, I've got some requests for pasta. And so what we're going to do is a pasta puttanesca, and it is pretty much just about anything you could pull straight out of your pantry. I've got like one fresh ingredient. If this is a good way, and we'll mention it later, about how to use seafood if you have it laying around, if it's fresh, if it's frozen, if it's canned, great outlet for it. And let's just kind of get started.
Sorry for the shaky cam. All these people already got 11 people watching so far.
Shaky cam, huh?
Shaky cam. Jen West in the house. So Lindy Frank.
Hey Lindy, miss everybody at Common Quarter. Haven't forgotten. Sometime if we keep going beyond everything for normal sustenance, I will do start to finish the peanut butter pie.
Also, Jaime Gomez. Good morning, Poppy Chef.
Que paso, güey? Good to see you. So I'm going to go ahead and get my pasta boiling and then kind of get everything else assembled, and hopefully they'll be ready about the same time. This has kind of been like breaking a bone to reset it. Actually, before I do that, because normally I'll stage some of this stuff, I want to salt my pasta water.
Salty as the ocean, right?
No, that's only if you're blanching vegetables. You want to put a decent amount, because this is your chance to flavor the pasta itself. But also with this one, this is an incredibly salty dish, or it has some salty components to it. It should be pretty well balanced at the end, so I'm not going to overkill on the pasta. The hard part for this one has kind of been like, it's almost been like breaking up and reset it, because our normal, in our house, we'll make stuff like this and do it for leftovers to eat throughout the week. But as we've been doing this every day, because it's been a lot of fun, we also have to keep in mind that Wendy and I are eating this ourselves, and so we don't want to out ourselves on the amounts that we have to eat. So our normal cooking way of doing it is we'll just dump a pound of pasta in. We'll make this, and then because we go with work and whatnot, we just eat throughout the week. But it's a little bit different these days when you're trapped with a fridge full of food.
But we're also going to be doing some takeout, hopefully this week, and then making stuff from that too.
Yes, ordering takeout, not offering takeout.
Oh, sorry, ordering. Yeah, no takeout.
Unless you want to come up and we can have a conversation through the Nest. Our little doorbell will be fun to see everybody. So. Got a pan going, got some olive oil. I pulled this, again, all this straight out of the pantry. I think one item out of the fridge. I got some anchovies. Do not put the little puke face emoji on here, please. Anchovies are delicious. They had a good kind of salty, briny background.
Oh, Dean Dupuis in the house.
Chef.
And John Barkell.
John Barkell, again. Oh my goodness.
All your favorite people.
I must be doing something right. So good to see everybody. Hope everybody's doing well from all over the country. Dean's up in the Northeast, so hello to him. Folks around Atlanta. I'm turning this down just a little bit. So I'm going to add some garlic to it, as well as our crushed red pepper, some of my favorite pantry staples to keep on hand. This should be a little on the spicy side, so I went for a couple of pinches there. And then some sliced garlic. You're working with garlic. The bigger the pieces, the more flavor it's going to be. So if you were to put a whole clove, maybe smash it, you just get a light infusion. If you were to just pulverize the daylights out of it, mash it to a paste or even mince, it would be a little stronger. Sliced is kind of somewhere in between. They're looking like little half moons because, I've been opening a restaurant the last couple of weeks, so the idea of cooking at home until recently has not really been on my radar. And so then you kind of go through what do you have in your pantry first, and if it happens to a lot of us, your garlic starts to develop that germ coming out of the center, so you got to take it out. So that's why it's not looking like a straight, kind of more circular slice.
Sarah Beth Holland.
Sarah Beth Holland, my cousin with whom I share a birthday. Hello. So what I'm looking for right here is I'm looking for the garlic to just get fragrant and barely start to brown around the edges. The garlic is a pretty crucial part of the dish, so hopefully you have it. If not, I would say let's wait till we add our tomatoes. If you had to substitute garlic powder, anchovies, you could leave those out if you didn't really groove on them. If you had any other type of canned like a...
What about anchovy paste? Krista Miller's asking.
Yes, absolutely anchovy paste, because I chopped mine up a little bit, but it's just a great base for flavor. When I would do, back in the Common Quarter days, when I would do my Fregola di Mare, we would kind of make a paste, like a sofrito, out of Calabrian chilies and capers and garlic and anchovies, and that would just be a little flavor bomb to start the dish. But yeah, not looking to go too high on this. Anchovy paste would be great. I had this just kind of to show if you have canned tuna, this is a great way to use this. I would just wait until towards the end to add it, because the more we kind of cook things out earlier, will develop their saltiness. And again, we're looking for the balance here.
Yeah. Carrie Lloyd is asking, why do you need to take the green bit out of the garlic?
So I've heard different things on this. I know that, without getting too far into the digestive part of things, I know that it does, there's some complications with that, let's just say.
Not good for you.
No, and it's got some bitterness to it as well, as it's starting to develop, so we want to get rid of that.
Aunt Linda in the house.
Aunt Linda, good to see you over in California. So this is kind of a fun story with this. So you of course have to believe everything you read on the internet, right? And so the Puttanesca, this dish was created around Naples, and they said it's in the style of the prostitute, because as legend would have it, the ladies partaking in the world's oldest profession would make this in between clients. Don't know how true or not that is. I don't want to be like Ron Burgundy, just believing everything he reads off the prompter. I've heard that that's been disputed. It's still an entertaining story, so if legend is more entertainment than truth, print the legend. So I remember a couple of years ago I was at homecoming for Millsaps, and remember back in the day when we all had blogs back in the late aughts, early teens. Somebody came up to me after having seen this recipe that I had posted. I was like, I really enjoyed that hoe pasta you put up. And before I married a publicist, I was like, yeah, I should really rephrase how I put things out there.
Kari Lloyd saying the spaghetti of the slut is how it translates, because it's easy and quick to make. Ah,
your words, not mine. Thank you for that. Thank you for the engagement, the input. I also want to give a shout out, Carrie Lloyd put out a group that we have that says, I've got your dinner right here, that she's been sharing it to. I feel like I can only say this like I'm from Staten Island and I'm going really crude, like, hey, would you like some dinner? Yeah, I got your dinner right here. So shout out to everybody on that group. Garlic is fragrant. I'm going to add some crushed tomatoes to this. So shout out to Patty Davis as well, who asked how to do things with, what can we use with crushed tomatoes. This is a great outlet. Patty, of course, is famous for introducing me to my beautiful, talented, amazing, smart, funny, and better than me wife, Wendy, who is manning the camera right now. So a million, and the matron of honor in our wedding, so a million thanks for the end of time, until the end of time, Patty.
But this is how you can use crushed tomatoes.
Yeah.
One of the many.
One of the many. I mean, pasta sauce in and of itself, I mean, if you've got, if you've got jarred pasta sauce, this would be a great way to add this, if you doctor it up with some other things. It's, again, I feel like a broken record, but we keep talking about how to make the best of what you got. And if all you have is, canned or jarred pasta sauce, you can add a few pantry staples to that to make it a little more customizable and kind of give it that fresh, homemade kind of taste. I'm going to move this pasta around. I've neglected it the entire shoot.
Everybody's digging on your t-shirt.
Thank you.
There's a lot of people that love tacos.
That's right. I understand I figured it'd be too much of a geek if I was making tacos while wearing the... Actually, no. There's no bad time to make tacos or wardrobe to wear. So we'll try and do some of those later on, too. Okay? I really appreciate all you guys with the requests. Please keep them coming. We got a good... I was kind of mapping out what we want to shoot for the rest of the week, and trying to be a responsible steward and citizen of the grocery store, not just buying things for production, but buying things for what we're going to make and what we're going to eat. And so just kind of using what we already have. I want to say that thank you for all the requests. I hear you. We're going to get to as many, if not all of them, as we can. If I'm not doing them right out of the chute, it's because I want to use up what we have in our pantry and fridge and make sure that we can, make sure everybody gets their fair shake at whatever food they need or want. Because it sucks trying to navigate a supermarket that's been depleted, especially if you got families, if you got kids. So. But yeah, so coming up, we've got a Thai style coconut curry coming up. We're gonna do a ribollita, kind of an Italian vegetable soup. We're gonna do a frittata coming up for people who asked about eggs. I know somebody, I think it was Krista Miller, asked about desk lunch, so we'll do some kind of funky sandwich or salad or something. It's kind of on the heartier side for later on. What else do we have on there? Still gonna get to that Moroccan tagine at some point.
Cocktails.
Cocktails. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. So just kind of eyeballing right now, because again, this is not in my nature, number one, to measure this, and I want to try and give you guys a little bit of an accurate recipe for what we're doing, and then number two, like I said, just cooking for two portions exactly is a bit odd right now. So I've got some olives. If you've got canned black olives, that'll work. If you've got cocktail olives and you wanted to slice them up, the ones stuffed with the pimentos, that'd work too. Yeah, the cool thing, one of the things I love about this dish is that you're adding a bunch of salty components, capers going in that have kind of drained. It's briny, it's salty, but then the end result, for some reason, because of the balance, because of the sweetness and acidity from the tomatoes and the spice of the chilies, doesn't taste salty. So that's... and it's quick, it's fast. It's one of the things that I really love and keep in my pantry at all times. A lot of people were asking, how do we, tips for stocking your pantry? Think about things that you like to eat a lot. If you like, if pasta's kind of in your comfort zone, in your wheelhouse, buy some dried pasta and some things that you could stretch to several dishes if you had. I use anchovies in a lot of dishes, so anchovies are in my pantry. I use garlic in damn near everything.
Lemons, too.
What's that?
You use a lot of lemons.
I use a lot of lemons. I use a lot of onions. There's some herbs, depending on how fast you're going to go through. We usually eat things that have kind of a Latin or an Asian bent, so cilantro finds its way into our pantry. I know that tastes like soap for about 10% of you out there. Something that we have, I'll add into this in a little bit. I had some chopped parsley just because that's something that we use.
What if you don't have capers?
If you don't have capers, you can just go without. If you wanted to, go extra on the olives, that would work. I would say just kind of mitigate the salt with something else. It would still be a delicious dish with that. It's kind of like we're layering things. If you had crushed red pepper, garlic, and canned tomatoes, you would have a great pasta sauce. Then if we were to add one thing incrementally, it would become a different sauce. So, let's go with possibly olives next, or then maybe anchovies or something like that.
Add as much or as little as you like.
Yeah.
I got a question from Carrie Lloyd again. I overbought canned chickpeas. Is there anything else we can do with it other than hummus?
Yes, and then that's we're kind of talking about the tagine. That's something that I'll have coming up for you as I wait for the glasses to unfog here.
Steamy.
I know this is like PTSD from every food shoot I've ever had to do because I can't see without my glasses. I really can't. And so when you wear them and then you have light shining on you, and then you're like, can you? And some director who's never really shot food or shot with me before is like,
hey,
No, not you.
I'm just kidding.
Not you. You're my favorite one. Certain other ones like, so can you do this without your glasses? And it's like cooking with Ray Charles.
Yeah.
So pasta is al dente.
What kind of pasta is it?
This is spaghetti.
What other pastas can we use?
So the right answer is anything. Anything you have would be good. If you had to kind of have a preference for this one, I would say go with a long pasta, a long strand pasta. It just hangs onto the sauce a little bit better. As you also saw, I do not believe, please don't ever rinse your pasta. It's got this starchiness on the outside of it that really helps sauce cling to it. And if you run that under water, you're rinsing that away. I may be a little heavy on the sauce here. That's okay, because what I can do is I can just plate this pasta without it, save my sauce, and as I want to, I can reheat. I can just boil some new pasta, and then add the leftover sauce to that. Yeah, because the adage is you want just enough sauce to kind of coat the pasta, not enough to where it's swimming in sauce, kind of like Olive Garden had us think from the 90s. But again, all those rules kind of go out the window, and it's like, just eat what you like. If you like it swimming in sauce, make it swimming in sauce. Who cares? Food police, and nobody's going to come to your door these days unless you call for delivery.
Yeah, and Lee says that pasta water makes sauce better.
It is. This is one of those dishes where I didn't necessarily need the water, but if I was going to make really my favorite pasta in the whole wide world, cacio e pepe, I would definitely want the pasta water. I like fresh parsley. We have it around the house. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. If you've got mint, if you got basil, that would be an excellent addition.
Would dried parsley be the same?
Not really.
Not the same, but
no. There's it's as much as I want to kind of say you can do substitutions. Really, when you start getting into the soft herbs, the harsher herbs that are dried work okay. If you were to have dried rosemary, dried thyme, dried oregano, even those are pretty good to have around the house because they have their purpose in the culinary world. Dried parsley really is kind of nothing.
What are your favorite spices to use?
Spices as in
like dry spices.
Dried spices. Cumin is a big favorite. We've got a spice grinder, so I love having fennel seeds around. Coriander, one of those that's also a big believer in kind of having, in a perfect world, having whole spices and toasting them and then grinding them. So coriander, cumin, fennel seeds are all great for that. If I had to build a pantry around that, those would probably be my 3 favorites. So just get a nice coating on this. When the tomatoes went in, if you had anything like canned salmon, canned tuna, that would be a good time for them to kind of add in. Or if you want to put them in now, because it's really cooked already and you're just kind of heating it through.
Polly Patrick says, it's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too, Polly Patrick. Let's see, I'm kind of going to make all of my notes here. So even with pasta water, I think the old school way, the original ratio was 1 gallon of salted pasta water per pound of pasta. I've heard things and I've seen evidence over time that things have changed. We're going to less water, just enough to kind of cover, and starting from cold and bringing it up. I haven't done enough of that to really test its mettle. I'm going to quote my good friend Chris Hall, said that there are many ways to skin a cat as long as the result is a deliciously skinned cat. So we're just going to kind of go to the plate with this.
So no waiting on this one.
No waiting, no kind of covering things up.
Nice little pasta twist. Yeah. Throws that fancy.
It's all well and good till it gets sauce splatter on the
That's right.
on the side here.
Even chef splatter.
Of course we do. If you had a whole bunch of seafood in here, I probably wouldn't recommend doing cheese on there just for the salt overkill.
That's right. Well, cheese and seafood, right? Isn't that like an Italian no-no?
Depends on what part of the country you're in. But again, kind of in I don't feel like we can adhere to as much dogma these days when we're just kind of trapped inside and all we have to do is cook dinner. So, at this point, if you like it, eat what you like. If cheese and seafood makes you happy, just go for it. So, That's it. Please keep those likes, requests, comments coming. I love talking to you guys. I love the interaction. Hope to see you guys again soon. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands. See you guys.